लेकिन आई तो सब ओके ना ऐसे देख लो वहाँ से. ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः. गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी. विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः. So today we will have the summary of the 7th chapter and then we will go to the 8th chapter. Now, the 7th chapter is a turning one because the Madhyama Shatka starts there. Why it turns? Because in each of the Shatka, the purpose or the way the chapters have been put together or the sequence in which Krishna Arjuna Samvada or Vyasacharya's mind has been going is going through 3 topics. As Madhusudana Saraswati mentions, the Prathama Shatka is focusing very clearly on Tvampada Lakshyartha or Jiva. What is Jiva? The Madhyama Shatka is focusing on Tatpada Lakshyartha or what is Ishvara. And then the last or Charama Shatka is referring to Asipada or the Aikyam between Tvam and Tat. What is the Vachyartha, what is the Lakshyartha. And the 16th, 17th, 18th chapters in the Charama Shatka are few sadhanas which are required, which have not been mentioned in the earlier chapters, as well as a complete summary of the Bhagavad Gita, all the chapters together, which is the 18th chapter. So in this way, the Prathama Shatka with an introduction and putting the background work in the first chapter goes with the crux of the whole Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd chapter, and explanation of the 2nd chapter goes on from the 3rd chapter up to the 17th chapter, and the Upadghata or the conclusion and summary is the 18th chapter. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is going in a sequence to slowly take the student from a known perspective to the unknown, and then making that student understand and aware in a very simple way. And hence, whenever we go in a particular path, there will be certain crossroads, there will be change in direction, there will be change in... So same way in the learning, we can never be at the same level and progressively going upward. Like we have 1st to 4th standard is called primary section. Then you have from 5th standard called secondary section. Why this primary and secondary is different? Is it because that the timing of the classes are different? or is it the way of teaching and the ability of the student to learn? Things starts changing in the secondary from the primary. In primary, it is more of a spoon feeding, supporting, helping, making them know. So, over a period of time, the children grow, they mature out, they understand the ways. Then, the process is not given the focus, the content becomes the focus. From the first to fourth standard, the process is the focus, the content is not given. So, as the student matures, the path remaining the same, the things will have to change. Otherwise, there won't be a progress. Same way, going from secondary to higher secondary to graduation to post graduation, you will see that path doesn't change, but the ways of teaching, expectation of what the student knows, how quickly they can grasp, whether they have an eligibility. Earlier there is no eligibility, everyone are allowed. Then later on eligibility criteria come. Like that, when we go from the first Prathama Shatkam to the Madhyama Shatkam, there is a change. And this change is very clearly from the perspective of the view. So from Jiva, which was the focus in the Prathama Shatkam, so what is Jiva Swarupaha? Then what is Jiva Prayatnaha? And to get this Prayatna in place, what is required as an action is Karma Yoga. So the three focus very clearly starting from the second chapter and across the third, fourth and the fifth chapter and sixth chapter is very, very consistently coming out with different aspects and faculties. You can see that Jiva Swarupaha is being very clearly connected, and that Jiva being an integral part, the Vyash of the Samashti, this Jiva being an integral part of the Samashti is very well connected in the third chapter, because the Yajna principle comes where you are an individual contributor and collectively when people contribute there is a difference. So that Jiva is not an independent separate entity which it can just do whatever it wants and it will not impact the Samashti, which is untrue, which is very similar to when you see chemistry. The types of atom present decides what the molecule is, and the type of molecules together decide what is the compound, and the compound formed together decides what that particular object of the matter is. So, although they directly or cannot impact in a big way, but their individual capacity or the collective is incomplete without the individual. The individual is a very much integral part of the collective. So the focus was given on the individual, and now in the Madhyama Shatka, it is this collective principle where we interact with the external. Okay, so from a perspective, a new concept comes out, something called Ishvara. Because when Jiva is there, Srishti is there, there is no need to have an Ishvara. I, the Jiva, interact in the Srishti, and I benefit, Srishti benefits, I continue. And where is this concept of a Ishvara here? Is there an Ishvara required? Because when we keep individually our matter aside, because when we ask questions about ourselves, we get very clear, rational, logical answers. From where did we come? Who are our parents? From where did they come? All that becomes very clear and it's very logical. But when you start applying this to all together, then starts questions which we do not have an answer. And hence, as clearly mentioned that in this path we need a support of Ishvara as a concept, and without Ishvara as a concept it becomes very difficult for us to drop this Jivatma Buddhi. Unless we have this Paramatma Buddhi, this Jivatma Buddhi will never get dropped. And if Jivatma Buddhi doesn't get dropped, Ahankara continues. If Ahankara continues, moksha is impossible. So, very clearly, if you have to progress in that path, knowing and understanding what Jiva is, then collectively how the Jivas together, if they have to function, and if this Srishti has to go, there has to be someone who is the G-O-D, Karta, Karayita, Dharta, all those things then comes to picture. Then there are so many questions coming that I did my job, but I didn't get the right benefit. Why? So in all this, there is an Ishvara coming into picture, and this Ishvara gets defined. Now, is Ishvara a concept for each one of us to define by ourselves that this is my Ishvara? The answer is no. And hence, Arjuna did not have this question of Ishvara, but still the Madhyama Shatka starts with Krishna very clearly telling that, hey Arjuna, I am going to tell you clearly what this concept called Ishvara is. You may understand it very clearly first. Because if you don't have a clarity on that, then you will be going in a wrong direction. Either you are ignorant about it, which is fine, but if you are got a wrong idea of this Ishvara, then it is not fine. And hence, Vyasacharya and Krishna chooses to turn the path to Ishvara Swarupa. Okay. Now, when you had Jiva Swarupa, here now you have Ishvara Swarupa. Jiva Swarupa connected to Vyashti, Ishvara Swarupa connected to Samashti. Then Jiva Prayatna, my individual goals, my individual Purusharthas, what I want, what effort I will put, what I need, what is the possibility, what is the limitation, all those things come under various chapters from 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, it goes there. And going from a very gross bodily action to mental action, which is in the 6th chapter, where it tells you the difference between both, how, what, all those things. Now, if Jiva Prayatna is there, will it be Ishvara Prayatna here? It can never be. Ishvara Prayatna is not a question at all. Then what is it? What is connecting us to this Ishvara? Ishvara Anugraha. So, my Prayatna and Ishvara Anugraha. Okay, so my Swarupa, Ishvara Swarupa. My Prayatna, Ishvara's Anugraha. Now you see both are getting connected the same way. If my Prayatna has to get fulfilled, there has to be Ishvara Anugraha also. If collectively everyone's Prayatna needs to get fulfilled, there has to be Ishvara. So what is Ishvara Anugraha? What is that? Is the next question. Then comes, so Swarupa Anugraha. Then what I need to do to progress in understanding Ishvara. By simply just, I want Ishvara Anugraha, I know it is not going to help. Correct? I know all the rules of the constitution. You ask me, section, this, I know everything. But then what? If I don't implement it, what is the use of it? So I need to have a practical, action-based program so that my view from Jiva will go to either Jagat, Ishvara, whatever that collective. That means Chitta Vishalata will start. Chitta Ekagrata to Chitta Vishalata will start, and that comes with, there it was Karma Yoga, which is related to more body, less mind. Here it is Upasana, highly mental oriented, less body. Is it clear? So upasana becomes one of the action or sadhana in the Madhyama Shatka. So Madhyama Shatka clearly is going to take through Ishvara Swarupa, Ishvara Anugraha and upasana as a sadhana. Upasana yoga or upasana as a sadhana. Is it clear? To attain this. So there is a clear purpose of Madhyama Shatka. Now with this clear purpose of Madhyama Shatka, which starts with the 7th chapter, it culminates at the 12th chapter, because what is this Ishvara Upasana highly matured way is called Bhakti, and that ends with the Bhakti Yoga. As so now I know what is the highest which I can go as Jiva, which is no, not Karma Yoga. Highest possible as a Jiva, highly refined action, what can you do? As a Jiva, when you start Karma Yoga, then that 3rd chapter starts with Karma. Where does it end in 6th chapter? It ends in Upasana. It ends in Nididhyasana, which means that particular activity has already moved from body to the mind now. A focused mind, a composed mind, a calm mind, Shanta Chittaha. Okay, all these things come on the 6th. Can you do anything more than that? No. Then what I need to go further? Now I need knowledge. So now I don't have knowledge. After me, I don't have any other knowledge. So it moves to what is Samashti. So now the knowledge starts. What is Ishvara Swarupa? Ishvara Swarupa. Correct? Or what is Jagat? And then what is his Anugraha? And then how do I enhance the maximum Anugraha is only through Bhakti or Upasana. The culmination of Upasana at the highest level is the Jnani Bhakti, nothing else. Is it clear? So when you compare these two, you have a very clear direction in which Acharyas take us. This needs to be as a thread always at the back of the mind. Otherwise, without a purpose, what are we aiming to? If that is not there, we can get absolutely disorientated with all these shlokas and chapters moving from one to the other. You will not have a connection. And hence, the 7th chapter is called as what? Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So, Jnana Yoga and Vijnana Yoga is there. Yoga here is connecting. Now, connecting to Jnana and connecting to Vijnana means what? What is Jnana and Vijnana?
Knowledge and activities.
This is colloquial dictionary meaning. Jnana Vijnana is very clearly defined. Go ahead. Correct. Knowing the apara prakriti is jnana. Knowing the para prakriti is vijnana. That is why it is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga. So he starts saying that, hey Arjuna, you are completely governed by this law. Okay. He starts it that way. Maya saktamana partha yoga yunjanma dashraya. You are completely submitted. मतलब जो बोलते हैं ना, मेरा हुक्म के बिना एक पत्ता भी नहीं हिलेगा. That's how he started. So here is where the clear directional change, or we have to change our spectacle from Jiva to Ishvara very clearly. From the Ishvara perspective, look at the Jiva. Why? Only then every Jiva will align to this Ishvara as a principle. Unless we align to Ishvara as the principle, submission is never possible. Think about it. You know, just to give you an example, all forces, a little technical, all forces are vectors. So if you see every molecule, they will be in every direction as vectors. But the moment when they are under the influence of electric field or magnetic field or something, all of them will align to it. So here is the way how Krishna is saying, understand that bigger one and align to it. If you don't align, what will happen? That will anyway continue. You will perish. That will anyway continue. You are a small fry. That is why they give that example of Sahasra Yuga Pariyantam Aharvyat Brahmano Viduhu. It will come. So, in the 8th chapter it is coming. It is exactly that point that please understand. You know that WhatsApp also used to be that it starts from you. Then the view starts going up, and you start diminishing till it will go above 10 floors and then go up to the galaxies, and then you say that you have already disappeared, and then from there it will come down to an atomic, subatomic view. So this view is being bought to understand and subdue our ahankara and get humility. Okay, that submission, to bring it, you will submit only when the force is that big that you can't fight it. Otherwise, our human nature is incremental changes. You will always want to fight it and change the setup. He says, here you try to change the setup. Sorry, it is called the cosmic law. This is the cosmic law. If you don't align, like anyone perishes, you will also perish. But better is to align to it and get benefit out of it. So this alignment is what he brings immediately and saying, Maya asakta manah partha, Mayi asakta manaha, Mad ashrayaha. Correct? Mad ashrayaha. Earlier he will say, see, in the earlier and all he says, get up, you fight. Atmaiva Atmano Bandhu, Atmaiva Atmana Ripuhu, all that he will say, you have everything, sab tumhare muthi mein. Starting of 7 this, tumhara haath mein kuch nahi hai. And this without knowing this background of this change, when people directly start learning it, they will start getting confused. Why is this text now contradicting itself completely? On one hand, you say that you have the full freedom, you are the writer of your own vidhi, and later on you say that you have already come with Svena Bhagade Yeno Padavati, and then you are just a puppet. But decide what you want. Both are true. How both are true? Because for everything there are 2 aspects to it. When is your prayatna important is during karma, before the karma, planning of the karma, execution of the karma, commitment to the karma. Yes. And where is Ishvara Anugraha important is karma to karma phala after your efforts are over. So till your efforts are there, just believe that you are the owner of it and you can change everything. You are that Ishvara. But the moment your job is over, drop it like a hot potato and give it in Ishvara's hand, because he knows what is the best to be done. Accept it very smilingly that is prasada bhava, submission. Okay, this is what was taught in Karma Yoga. But the second part is now getting, in the Prathama Shatkam, the first part was glorified. In the Madhyama Shatka, the second part is now getting glorified. Both are required. If you interchange it, you have a problem. If you say Bhagavan will do everything, then you are in a fatalistic approach. Nothing will happen. Or the other hand, after you doing also you fight that this should be the outcome, only you will perish and nothing will happen. That concept is very clear. So there is no deviation from it. It has to be understood in the right perspective. You know when to take charge, you should know when to submit. If you do the other way around, it is harm only for you and no one else. Because the Srishti will continue the way it is following the law. Only you are the odd one out, so you are going to perish. Think about it. There are many who have come that I will change the world, and they have gone and perished. No person who said that I am the God of the world exists today. So that is not possible. Okay, that's a proven fact. And hence, what to do when? That you can know only when you understand what is this cosmos equal to Ishvara, equal to Jagat, equal to Samashti, give whatever name you want. Are you able to understand? Equal to Tat, Tat Pada Lakshyartha in the. So it starts that 7th chapter with a very clear orientation of the mind, because it is necessary as a teacher by Krishna to move Arjuna into a different framework, because if he starts seeing it from the same framework, he is going to now have a problem, because he will challenge every word with that knowledge what he had till the 6th chapter. Yes, all that is okay, ये भी है, मतलब उसको साइड पे पार्क करो, अभी दूसरा अध्याय हम चालू कर रहे हैं, and that's exactly what I am doing with you all. वो सब है, उसको उधर पार्क करो, यहाँ से नया अध्याय चालू होएगा. Don't have that framework that my prayatna only will work. But even in Srishti's law, without your prayatna, nothing will work. So that needs to be there, but that gets undervalued, and Ishvara's anugraha is glorified. Okay, no one says you stop that. Without that, nothing will work, because here itself, in the 8th chapter, he will say that karma sanjitaha visargah bhuta bhavo bhavakaro visargah karma sanjita. When you see the meaning, that is the time we know that how much our prayatna has a big influence on this Srishti. Okay, but because I did the prayatna, this is going to be by karma phala. When you tell, that is where the problem comes, because there is an attachment between karma and karma phala. That attachment should be cut, and that is what he says. Unless you detach, by which, if you have to detach with someone, you have to attach with someone. एक से डाइवर्स करेगा तो दूसरे से शादी करना पड़ेगा. Correct? You can't, unless you have something to attach, you will not detach from someone. Just, it's a very clear principle. As a sannyasi, if I want to detach from the world, I got attached to Ishvara. Can we clear? Then later on he redefines what Ishvara is. But that attachment is there. Same way, you have to first detach with something, that jiva, and then you can get attached to Ishvara. So that turn has to be there, and detachment from that jiva which has been hit in the first 6 chapters are now lower. Is it clear? So then he says, Jnanam asamshayam samagram. I will give you that knowledge which is doubtless knowledge. Commitment, or that sankalpa, or pratignya vakyam, promise. It is my promise. I solemnly promise. He says, asamshayam samagram, without, undoubtedly, and it is samagram will mean there is no incompleteness. That means it is fully complete. I will give you full knowledge without doubt. Okay. And in case you are interested, you can listen. If Arjuna, sir, but, sir, I have a question. Thank you. Ended. There itself it will end. And Arjuna has a very clearly Jijnasu, he wanted to know it, he kept quiet, he allowed Krishna to continue. So he said, Jnanam teham savijnanam, aham te jnanam cha vijnanena saha. So I'll give you jnanam and vijnanam idam vakshyami asheshataha. Shesha, remnant, ashesha, without any remnant. That means कुछ भी बिना छूटे मैं तुम्हें सब कुछ बता दूंगा. इससे बड़ा प्रतिज्ञा, what you want. Okay, so the teacher takes the responsibility to teach it completely. Teacher takes the responsibility to remove all my doubts, because teacher is going to give a doubtless knowledge. The doubtless knowledge cannot be doubtless to teacher. It has to be doubtless to me. Teacher, if the teacher is giving knowledge, it is doubtless to the teacher. If the teacher has the doubt, then cannot give the knowledge. So when you say doubtless knowledge, till my doubts are fully clarified, that knowledge will be given. Okay, and then what is the benefit? Yat jnatva neha bhuyo anyat jnatavyam avashishyate. There is nothing else to know once this is known. That means it is Mahavidya, Paramavidya. There is nothing higher than this. It doesn't, again, don't mistake that, it gives you all the knowledge. No, it will give you foremost of the knowledge. Okay, so by getting this jnanam, if you say, please come and assemble my computer, please make this electrical line okay, that sannyasi will say, where did I aake kidhar fas gaya, that acharya. So not all the knowledge, that knowledge which is foremost of all, knowing which the other knowledge are all subservient, and you can have a choice to even not know it. I am not losing anything. But if I miss this knowledge and get all that knowledge, I have not got any knowledge. Okay, so very clearly, jnatavyam avashishyate. And then he says that rarity of this knowledge, and that is where it talks about the value of that knowledge. Why this knowledge is there? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschid mam veti tattvata. So among all these people, very few people will be interested in something called this. Why? First of all, the probabilities you are Manushya. Out of all the janmas, yoni is possible only. How many crores are Manushya? 800. Correct? उसमें 140 इधर बैठा है, चाइना में दूसरा बैठा है 200, बाकी का सब बिखरा हुआ है सब जगह. ठीक है, जो now this is minority compared to jiva. So only this minority have the ability to even know it, because they have something called buddhi, a matured buddhi. In this minority also, majority of the people are not interested in it. Kaschit yatata sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Who are interested to know this. Yatatam api siddhana. Among those people also who yearn to know this knowledge, मुट्ठी भर के भी नहीं, उंगली से गिने तो भी उंगली ज्यादा है, उतने लोग को एक्चुअली समझा है. Okay, a very clear probability theory. So, if you are not entering that particular competition, there is a question of winning, losing or anything. That means if you want your this janma safalyam to be meaningful, at least think about it, listen about it, try to understand and try to connect with it in day-to-day life. Otherwise, this janma will also go like you are only in Manushya Rupena, any other krimi kita. I am just cockroach doing a fancy dress of Manushya. I am a cockroach janma having fancy dress of Manushya. That's all. Okay, एक खत्म हुआ fancy dress, तो दूसरा fancy dress. But actually मैं है cockroach. That is what he is trying to tell. So which means that if you are a Manushya, don't try to act like Manushya. You be a Manushya. That means use that upper story. You have got a parajnanam, that higher value jnanam which buddhi is there, use that. If you don't use it and you are using the lower buddhi only, like any other animal, then you are wasting this janma. Okay. Now he comes to the actual, from the shloka number 3 to I think shloka number 12, he is going to give the what? Ishvara Swarupam. The most important part of this particular chapter, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, that knowledge is coming from shloka number 4 to shloka number 12. He is giving Jnanam and Vijnanam. What is Jnanam? The Apara Prakriti of Ishvara, and what is Vijnanam? The Para Prakriti of Ishvara. So always, as a normal principle, you start with the Apara Prakriti, because that is what you interact with, that is what you connect with, and that is what is easily understandable. So he starts with Srishti Prakaranam, where the normal knowledge, most of the people have this Pancha Mahabhutas. Like a student of science will always know, okay, elements are there, these elements join together, they form molecule, molecules form together to form substances, blah blah blah, substances together have got their own properties, malleability, ductility, all those things are taught. Like that, for us, it is not Anu, Dvyanu, Treta Anu. For us, Pancha Mahabhutas, the elements and the elementals, because they join to form. These elementals will form various objects. In that also you have got now 2 classification. So he says there are 8 things which you can know, classes. Bhumi rapo nalo vayuhu khammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashtadha. There are 8 things which you can look at and consider. And when you break it, classify into 8, that completely aligns with the Sankhya's classification and Yugapada Srishti. How did it start? Tasmadva etasmadatmana akashas sambhutaha akashad vayuhu vayoragnihi agnerapaha adbhyah prithvi prithivya oshadayah oshadibhyonnam annat purushaha sava esha purusho annarasamayah. Upanishad tells it that way. Here he has taken Mano Buddhi Ahankaraha Purushaha Vinna Prakriti Rashtada along with the Pancha Mahabhutas. Okay. This Ashtada, where else it has come? Bhurambham Syanalo Nalom Paramahar Nato Himam Supuman Ityachara Charatmakamidam Yasyaiva Murtyashtakam. Same. So in different places the classifications can be different. But what is he talking of? Yugapada coming, the Sattva Gunas coming out, the Rajo Gunas coming out, the Tamo Gunas coming out, the Tamo Gunas going of this Pancha Mahabhutas undergoing a process of Panchikaranam, and then thereby you are getting the objects, and then you have the whole Srishti or the Sthula Shariram. And that's how this Sthula Shariram and the object will interact with each other, and thereby now comes this interaction brings karma, and then this will give you karma phala. If the Srishti itself was not there, if this gross Srishti was not there, where is karma and where is karma phala? Imagine only Sukshma Srishti is there. No karma phala. So this gross body using the subtle mind, operating through the gross body, in this gross Srishti gives you a subtle karma and karma, not gross. Samajh mein aa raha hai? How intermingled now these are. So as much as this Sthula and Sukshma is intermingled, same way is Srishti and Samashti. Same way is Jiva and Paramatma. Both. Okay, if I ask you, my hand did this job, who governed this hand? Mind. So karma is for the hand or karma is for the mind now? But without the hand, can this mind do karma? Can the karma phala be enjoyed by the hand? Can the hand feel the happiness or sadness? Or it is the mind through the hand feeling the happiness or sadness? Okay, so they are intermingled. In the first one, only you were considered, that is the hand, is now the mana which is together with all the avayava is now getting considered. Same way, Paramatma, who is intermingled in everything. So Paramatma's lower or apara prakriti is prakriti or srishti or jagat or maya, or you technically even call it mithya, doesn't matter. But what is the purpose of telling him? You can never ever think of negating this cosmos, Vishwa. No, I can always be by myself. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. I will drop this Jagat as a hot potato. That is all when we talk to give you an idea which should be the focus. Less focus doesn't mean that is not present. But that less focus thing only impacts the less focused part of us, which is our mind and buddhi. Correct? Reduce the value, but you can't say that it is not there. Whether to get attached to it, yes, very clearly, don't get attached to it. If you get attached to it, your problem is there. But you can't say it is not there. So he starts with, my apara prakriti is what you see this manifestation. So when people say that I hate something in this world, you have no choice about hating anything in this world. You have a choice to be away from it. You have a choice not to think about it, not to listen about it, not to see about it, do whatever you want. But there is no choice called hating, because in Ishvara Srishti, nothing can be hated, not else. To bring this concept, he started with this, that I am manifested as all this. If I am manifested, however bad, simple, we may say, I hate this part of my body because it is troubling me. I want to cut it and throw. I hate it. We have told many a times. This problem, I hate this. And if a knife is given and say, please cut this hand, you hate it. Will you do it? You will never do it. Even if you know that there is a cancer growing there, you will not cut it. You will say, doctor, ensure that I don't understand it. You do whatever you want, you get rid of it. But you will not do it. Why? It is yours. So same way, Ishvara's apara prakriti is this srishti, which includes my apara prakriti also. My three shariras are a part of it. So it is all Ishvara. So this Ishvara is there in everything at all point of time. Can you see any ornament without gold? Can you see any furniture without wood? Impossible. So if the Srishti is there, Ishvara har kan mein hai. Okay. Then what is the problem? If you, in every kan of that where we say Ishvara, there is para prakriti and apara. We have to choose to hold to the para prakriti of Ishvara and undervalue the apara. Okay. So this Bhagat Tyaga is what is very clearly taught that you have Nitya Vastu, Anitya Vastu. Do Bhagat Tyaga of it. Hold on to Nitya Vastu. That doesn't mean that you have to throw the Anitya Vastu. Let be there. But don't get attached to that Anitya Vastu. Same way, Ishvara Srishti, which is my Srishti, over a period of time you will say it is my Srishti. So this Srishti, if Ishvara is present, where is this Ishvara present? As Para and Apara both are present. Okay, so now next he will say Aham Kritsnasya Jagataha Prabhava Pralayas I am the Karta Dharta of this Srishti. Okay. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayantyabhisambhishanti tad vijitnyasasva. You better understand this. It is as a question. Yato va imani bhutani jayante. Taitya Upanishad. In which Valli? Bhrigu. The starting Anvaka will talk about this. When Bhrigu goes to his father Varuni and asks, what is Brahman? He gives the Jagat Karanam, Srishti Sthiti Laya Karanam. One of the very important sutras in the Brahma Sutra also. Okay. Yatova imani bhutani jayanti. From where did this whole Srishti come? Yena jata nijivanti. How does it continue? What makes this life in this? Why the living people are not dead? What is that? Yat prayantyabhisambhishanti. How does this perishing happen? Srishti Karanam, Sthiti Karanam, Laya Karanam. From what is that? Tad vijitnyasasva. Think about that. Analyze that. Ask the question. And that answer is Ishvara. So you have to give from all this. Then later on we say that, cut that word Ishvara and call it Brahma. Then cut that word and call it Atma. Because Ishvara equal to Brahma equal to Atma, all are the same. So Ishvara is now made up of two, Para and Apara. So Ishvara's Para equal to Brahman equal to Atma. Then what is Ishvara's Apara? Equal to Shariram equal to Jagat equal to Anatma. Is it clear? Like that, see both. So he says, Mattah Parataram Nanyate Kinchidasti Dhananjaya. So I am not that Para. Whatever I mentioned is all Apara. My Para is different. What is that? Nirguna. Raso Habapsu Kaunteya. So to make us understand, he starts with an example of telling that what is that Para, in that Apara you are able to see. What is that in the ornament which I am supposed to see called gold, which is the Para? What is that I am supposed to see in that furniture which is called the wood, which is called the Para? What is there in the water, which is the Rasa, which is the Para? Raso hamapsu kaunteya shashi suryayo prabha asmi sarva vedeshu pranavaha asmi shabdaha ke asmi nrishu paurusham asmi. So now he is giving in the Apara which is seen, learn to look at the Para. Para is not separate from Apara, and Apara and Para can never be separated. It will always be together. जो दिखता है वो असली में नहीं है, जो नहीं दिखता है वो असली में है. जो नहीं दिखता है वो देखने का कोशिश करो, समझ करो, वही असलियत है. लेकिन जो दिखता है अगर उसमें गए तो आप बिक गए. You are gone. Correct? So he says, look at what you need to look at. Suppose when you understand this few relationship, then what am I? Bijam mam sarva bhutanam. I am that seed, life seed which is there in everything. Correct? Vidhi partha sanatanam tvam vidhi. Lot. You better understand. It is giving in lot. You better understand. You have no option here. You may understand it this way only. Any other way you understand, you have a problem. That is why vidhi is put in lot. Tvam vida he did not say. Tvam vidhi is means you better understand it this way. You may better understand it this way. Okay. Then Buddhir buddhimatam asmi. Now from the external, from the apara prakriti of the sthula, he is going to the sukshma part. And there he is saying, in sukshma also, you have sukshma sharira and atma. Two separate. Okay. Sthula, sukshma are two separate. But sukshma is also apara. Manas is apara. The Chaitanatvam which is running the manas is para. The Chaitanatvam which is running the body is para. Body and mind is sthula and sukshma. So whatever he gave an example was all on sthula. Pancha Mahabhutas. Raso hamapsu kaunteya prabhaspisha shisuryayo pranavas sarva vedeshu shabdakke paurushanushu punyo gandha pratibhyancha tejaschasmi vibhavaso. Okay. Jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. This Jivanam onwards he has already come internal now. So now he is talking about the world of apara, which is Sukshma apara, not Sthula apara. You understand now? In Sukshma apara, he says, Bijam mam sarva bhutanam, Jivanam sarva bhuteshu. Okay, then Buddhir buddhimatam asmi, Tejas tejasvinamaham, Balam balavatanchaham. Okay, then he says, Kama raga vivarjitam dharma aviruddho bhuteshu kamaha asmi he Bharatarshabha. What a beautiful definition of kamaha. Our kamaha will be defined in a different way. Ishvara's kamaha is defined in a different way. Our kama, I will define it now. Kama raga avar avivarjitam dharma viruddha bhuteshu asmi kama. You will hear it the same way. That is the beauty of the Sanskrit, that where to add and where not to add you should know. I will break it up again. Little we have to start thinking. Kama raga vivarjitam. Kama raga avivarjitam. Kama raga vivarjitam. Varjitam is what? Prohibited. Avarjita is what? Not prohibited. Vivarjita is what? Extremely prohibitable. Highly. Visheshena. Avivarjita means what? Yes. That means I am filled with kama raga. It is double negative sitting there. Nay. Bouncer. Okay. Now I am telling you words. Vivarjitam. Varjitam, word is understood. Vivarjitam, word is understood. Kama vivarjitam. Don't try, just think, see and get the meaning. Kama vivarjitam means what? Without deep attached kama. Raga vivarjitam, without deeply attached raga. Now I add, instead of vivarjitam, I add avivarjitam. Exactly opposite meaning. Highly with kama, highly with raga. So what is our kama? Kama raga avivarjita. What is Ishvara's? Kama raga vivarjita. Do you understand now? Then dharma, dharma viruddho. Now I'm going to break. Dharma viruddho. Dharma aviruddho.
Against dharma and
For dharma. Dharma aviruddha is what? Viruddha is against. Aviruddha is means what? For. So dharma aviruddha means for dharma. Dharma viruddha means against dharma. So what is my kama? Dharma viruddha. What is Ishvara's kama? Dharma aviruddha. That is why dharma viruddho it is written. Are you able to get that? You can play with these words and exactly make with the four same words, minor change, adding, you can exactly have the opposite meaning. Okay. Bhuteshu kamosmi. Bhuteshu. Our kamaha is highly with kamaraga, highly with adharma. Ishvara's is never with kamaraga, never with adharma. Aviruddha, remove the and bring it to adharma, it is still the meaning is the correct. Are you able to get it? Hopefully here people are there, I presume you all are able to get it. Okay. And then he says, if this is the definition of Bhagavan's kama, Ishvara's kama, with that what did he do? He made the, how did he do? So kamayata bahusyam praja ye yeti. How beautifully the Upanishad is getting connected to see this. In Brahmananda Valli, at the end, how did this Srishti happen? Saha Ishvara akamayata. He had a thought. Bahusyam praja ye yeti. Let me multiply into many. Ekoham bahusyamaha. I want to multiply now. Satapo tapyata. He put a plan. Tapas means here putting a plan. It is not sitting and doing tapas. Okay, other way around. What is doing tapas? Let's consider it as tapas only. What is the meaning of tapas? What is tapas?
sacrifice or pain.
Okay, pain. Pain for what? What? Okay, we'll take an example. I did your Margashish Maina Vrat, tapas. Why did I do?
Self-control, strict,
self-control.
Control against what?
He comforts.
That coming out of the comfort is what?
Yeah.
Kisse. That means focusing the mind into something. I did all this to be focused on my objective. For that I did all this. And when I come out of the comfort zone and do all this to be focused on what I want, it's called what? Tapas. Correct? एक पाव में तप किया, प्रहलाद ने एक पाव में खड़ा, तप किसके लिए किया? To pain the leg. Then for what? To focus the mind undeterred into that objective, right? That is why I did the tap. So all the tap is for what? Getting that mind focused into the objective, what you want, nothing else. If that is not there, the tap has no meaning. I went to the gym to increase my muscles. For what? My muscles have to get increased is the ekagra buddhi I have, and that is why I keep going to the gym. The benefit of it is separate, but what I want to achieve is that focus in my mind that my muscle has to increase or grow is that ekagra buddhi. Correct? For that I am ready to do all that tapas. So Bhagavan, sa tapo tapyata means what? Focused his mind. Bhagavan focusing his mind means what? For what? You have to connect it to the previous statement. So, kamayata bahusyam praja yeti. I want to multiply. For that he did tapas. Focused his mind. By focusing into the mind, now I want to multiply. I focus my mind. What will I get out of that?
Concentration.
And then what? Okay, I got concentration that I want to multiply. Then what?
Happiness.
What happiness? Just by come that thought in your mind, you will get happiness.
Efforts.
Efforts where?
Plan.
You plan. The obvious thing is the moment you have a goal, the next thing without you knowing only you'll get into a planning stage. That planning stage can be, time variation can be based on what your goal is. Correct? Suppose from here if I have to go to station, if I say Satapo Tapyata, I want to go to station, Satapas Tatva, instantly over what? I will go out, go take a auto, station, meter paisa liya, pahunch gaya. How fast it happened? Did I sit and do dhyanam? How will I go to station? What will I do? No. So for Bhagavan, when he wants to do Bahusyam Praja Yeti, that Satapo Tapyata, Satapas Tapva is a fraction of a second, the plan is ready, the blueprint is ready. The blueprint of the Srishti is very clear how he wants to multiply. That means Srishti Prakaranam is going to start now. All the laws are in place, everything is in place. The three gunas will start working now. Okay. Idagam sarvam asrjata. Next statement. Idagam sarvam asrjata. Everything manifested. The moment he thought, everything manifested. You mean to say jadoo hai kya? No. Idagam sarvam asrjata talks of the time when nothing was there till this time. Yuga pada with time, one by one, the unmanifested becoming manifestation. All the Prakriti which was in the potential form, including your iPhone 25, when the day of manifestation will have to come, will come by someone. That plan is there. Are you able to get that? Tat srishtva. Now to make a student understand that my product is not a jada vastu, but equally a chetana vastu like me, because see, just look at it very logically. We have to come back to don't use an assumption here, you have to come back to that very, very inquisitive type of a mind question. A child is born. What is the first question everyone will ask? What is the first question we'll ask?
Boy or girl?
Boy or girl, वो बाद में.
Healthy.
Healthy वो सब बाद में. What does the doctor or someone see first when the child is born?
Life.
For a common person, रोया कि नहीं बच्चा? बच्चा रोया कि नहीं? What does this blessed crying tell? There is life. Correct? Now if the child is born without crying, then the doctor will start checking whether life is there or not. Okay. So as a common man, when we know that activity shows life. So if this Bhagavan decided to make this Srishti which is all Jada Vastu, how do I know that Chetanatvam is there in it? Your product is a Jada. That is why the Upanishad says that Yatha Kesha Lobani, from the Sharira, hair comes out. The hair is a Jada Vastu coming from Chetana Vastu. Like that, your product called the Srishti looks Jada. Where are you in it? And to make such a drama, to tell the student, I entered everything. That is called Anupravesha Vakyam. So after I creating, it's like, you know what I did? I purchased a house. I paid so much money, I purchased the house. Then what? I furnished the house. Then what? Good day, I did the puja. Then what? We entered the house and stayed there. Do you have to really enter the house to tell it is your house when you have purchased it? So do you need a Bhagavan to show that his presence is there in this? Because Jadatvam is seen, I want to see where the Chetanatvam is there. So the Upanishad, as though Bhagavan is entering each, gives an Anupravesha Vakya. Idagam sarpamasrajata yadidam kincha tat srishtva tadevanupravishat. Then what? Tadanupravishya. As a event, as an activity, they said, having entered in. Hare? Immediately you all say, what Buddhu like Upanishad is talking? Bhagavan entering, having entered, and on the other hand you are talking he is antaryami, everywhere, present, omnipresent. But for a child to understand, the Upanishad teaches this way. If you ask this question, you are no more that child. So you have to say, as though as Bhagavan entered, and as though having entered. That is what you have to add it in brackets. Okay, so the way Upanishad says, same way here he says, you have to understand me in the Sukshma Prapancha also. How he gives example, Balam Balavatanchaham Kamaraga Vivarjitam. Because here, don't consider Balavatam to be Sukshma, to be Paraprakriti. You understood? Because it is not gross, it is Sukshma, don't consider it to be Paraprakriti. It is still Aparaprakriti, which is not Sthula. So there also now you have to segregate and find out what is Paraprakriti and what is Apara Sukshma Prakriti. Are you able to see how nicely he is now? See, when you keep giving shloka meaning, this thread you will not get. Only in the summary you are able to take it and go. We are not going word meaning. But to go to the next shloka is going very, very logically. The dissection is very, very clear and going ahead. Okay. Then he says, the moment you understand me as this, para and apara prakriti, in this apara prakriti, let it be sthula or sukshma, irrespective, unless the three gunas are there, you will not know. So how do you see me in the apara prakriti? In the para prakriti, you know I am Chetana. But in apara prakriti, how do you see me? The three gunas of me are there. So he says the three gunas are equally divine as me, because they are my three gunas. Ye chaiva sattvika bhavaha rajasastamasaschaye matta eveti tan viddhi natvahanteshu te mai. So beautifully he is taking it. He says matta eveti. See, these three gunas of mine, which are a part of what? Para or apara? Apara. So who is para here? Aham para, mama gunaha apara. So am I dependent on my guna, or my gunas are dependent on me? Be very clear. My three gunas which you see in the Sthula Prapancha and Sukshma Prapancha, including your Sukshma Sharira, are made up of these three gunas, and they are completely subservient, dependent only on me, which is the Padapati. Very clear? Okay. Now he says, Tribir Gudamayair Bhavaihi Evis Sarvamidam Jagat. Okay, then I can do one thing. I told you all the story now. Who is this Apara Prakriti? Started with what? Bhumirapo Nalo Vayu Kampano, up to Balam Balavata, all that he mentioned. He said, एक काम करो, ये पूरा अपरा को सब छोड़ दो तुम. ये क्या है? मेरा तीन गुना in different form is called this blessed apara. These three are dependent on me. I am not dependent on them. इन ये तीनों का अलग अलग कॉम्बिनेशन एट डिफरेंट लेवल्स इज कॉल्ड दिस माइक्रोकॉस्म एंड मैक्रोकॉस्म. खत्म. You saw the beautiful classification. So he has made your job simple now. Don't get stuck into this is Stula, this is Sukshma, this is I have to see the Rasa or I have to see that. In Guna. These three Guna is the casing. Oh, battery down. Gadbad ho jayega. I think it will stop now. I don't know why. I didn't get my charger. ठीक है, देखिए. Okay, so first come first, if it stops, please continue to listen in the YouTube. The class will continue. If the Zoom stops, the class continues. Okay, so this particular sorry, what I was saying. So only 3 gunas are there. So as I am divine, my 3 gunas are divine. So now if you say that I don't like tamo guna, sorry, that is also needed. Otherwise you will not sleep. Okay, so tamo guna is equally divine as sattva guna and rajoguna guna. Then where is the problem? Very good. The 3 gunas are Bhagavan Srishti only. The Bhagavan is operating the whole thing. I understand all this. Then where is the problem now coming? I have no problem at all. You have no problem so far as you keep all the gunas in Bhagavan's Srishti. And you are enjoying it as a standby. As a sakshi you are sitting, ये भगवान का चित्र. भगवान तुम्हारा लीला अपरंपार कुछ नहीं. मुझे कैंसर आया तो भगवान तुम्हारा लीला अपरंपार. मेरा नी जॉइंट आया, प्रॉब्लम आया तो ये भी भगवान तुम्हारा लीला अपरंपार. Are you ready to do it? Is the problem. Why? Those gunas now will come and you will start attaching yourself to your 3 gunas is what he is telling. That is where the issue starts. So he says yo yo yam yam Tripur Gudi Devi hyesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mame vaye prapadyante maya metantarantite. Okay, he is very clearly establishing the supremacy that I am the highest, whereas my gunas are under my control. Then what is the problem? Your gunas are not in your control, he wants to say. That is why you are not supreme to your gunas. Your gunas starts controlling you. My gunas means what? My vasanas. So now they are controlling me. So it is like घर का maid servant. You employ them and after some days they sit on your head and you give your head for them to dance. So like that, I gave you these 3 divine gunas for you to utilize them and through them know me as the Paraprakriti. And what did you do? You got entangled in these 3 gunas, not even considering it to be my divine gunas, but your nature, your vasanas. पहला mistake इधर आ गया. समझ में आ रहा है? So he nicely says now, this is where the mistake is. So he says, Namam dushkriti no moodaha. These buddhus have not understood me. Why? They decided their own sattva rajas tamo guna to be supreme and they became a slave of it rather than becoming a master of it. And hence, now I can't do anything. It is your choice to do what. You change the rule of the game. You change the rule of the game. Don't blame me for it. So, namam dushkrito no moodaha prapadyante nara adhamaha. Because they became a slave of their guna and they started whipping activities only based on what their gunas were telling to satisfy their vasanas. Okay. Then Mayaya apahrita jnanaha asuram bhavam ashritaha. That is why these 3 gunas, which has 2 beautiful shaktis, which is called Avarana Shakti and Vikshepa Shakti. My Avarana Shakti started working beautifully on them and it started covering their knowledge and intellect. So they started getting lured by it, they started getting deluded by it, and this delusion ended up in gross ignorance. And they became Nara Adhamaha Rakshasaha. If that knowledge is there, you are Saksharaha. If that knowledge is not there, you are Rakshasaha. Sakshara, opposite you, right, is Rakshasa. Sakshara means having knowledge. Sa Akshara. No knowledge or having knowledge deluded is called Rakshasa. One who does not have knowledge is Asura. They are very, very, very beautifully defined. The name itself defines it. Are you able to get that? So, it says, Mam dushkrutino muda mayaya apakrita jnana. Like this, Ravana took away, abducted the Sita. These three gunas of you abducted, and your attachment to these three gunas, combination which you call it as vasanas, it abducted your knowledge and you were completely deluded. Okay. Then he says, based on this, there are now other people who have not got fully into this clutches. थोड़ा लोग तो बाहर है, बहुत सारे लोग अंदर ही है और उनको मालूम भी नहीं है, लेकिन उसमें से कोई लोग जो है इतना माया उसके ऊपर काम नहीं किया है. Maya has not blessed too much. That means somewhere they have a question, who am I? What am I doing? ये क्या चल रहा है? Correct? And then they understand that there is something called Ishvaraha, and it's not only me and my gunas. This Ishvara's gunas are also there. This Ishvara is also there. Somewhere this comes. And those people who have some understanding, some knowledge, some connectivity to other than their own vasanas and gunas, they are that minority people who are not asuras and rakshasas. They can be made sakshara. Okay, that minority 10% of the people, I call them as dharmika first, because they know that there is a principle, and based on that principle this whole cosmos is running, and if it is running, it is not by chance or by luck. There are rules and regulations how it is working, and I better try to understand and align myself to the rules, and these rules are called the cosmic rules, and they know that there is someone who is running this cosmic rule, who is the God, who is the Karta, Karayita, Dharta, and they have some idea about it. They may not have a clarity, but for those people is what I have explained all this, that they understand that they should not get deluded by this Maya. And based on how much they are deluded, I now categorize them as 4 types of bhaktas. Those who do not come under that purview, 90%, are abhaktas. They will continue this fancy dress, janma after janma. You don't know how many millions of manushya janma also, they will continue the fancy dress. Mayaya apakrita jnana asurim bhava ashritaha janma janmopari will continue, and they will be like this only in that cycle of chaturashiti lakshani shivena kathitam pura. Where does it come? In yoga. 84 lakh yonis are there. That is what Shiva has told. And in that all the manushya is one. The rest are also there. तो उसका अंदर उन लोग क्रिस क्रॉस पकड़ा पकड़ी खेलते रहेगा जन्म आफ्टर जन्म. गलती से मनुष्य में आया तो इफ दे आर स्टिल इन दैट 90%, सॉरी गो राउंड में चलते रहेगा. फ्यू पीपल फील दैट आई डोंट वांट दिस सॉरी गो राउंड, मेरे को वॉमिटिंग आ रहा है, मेरे को तकलीफ हो रहा है, मेरे को इससे बाहर निकलने का, अरे भैया बंद करो, मैं बाहर कैसा निकलूं. फॉर दोज फ्यू पीपल हु आर 10%, फॉर देम ज्ञान विज्ञान योग इज साक्षरा. एंड दैट 10% I will further categorize for you because they are called bhaktas. And fortunately, my dear Arjuna and my dear students and me, we are all in that category. समझ में आ रहा है? Beautifully how the story is going very nicely here. Now he says these four are artho jignyasurartharthi jnani cha bharatarshava. Care of chapter number 12, where we will in detail discuss it. Contract bhakti, correct? Agreement bhakti, contract bhakti, security bhakti, all those we know it. You know it, but we go ahead. Then he says, among them there are only those who are very close to me. Why? Nice way of telling they are no other than me. Very close to me. That they are no other than me. Like if I ask a question, your family member is close to you, or your friends, society and some strangers are close to you? Close to you. They are close to you. Are family members close to you, or the dress you are wearing closer to you? So you are ready to give up the dress for them. Which is closer? Physically it is. Right? Is the dress closer to you or the skin closer to you? Is the outer skin closer to you, the inner skin closer to you? समझ में आ रहा है? Like that, when you keep on breaking till you come back to ahankara is closer to you or atma is closer to you, then that question will come. Till that it is all बाहर का स्लाइस करते जा रहे हैं. सब वही कैटेगरी में, उसमें माइक्रोस्कोप लेके उसको बड़ा कर करके हम और अंदर आ रहे हैं. दैट्स ऑल. द डिफरेंशिएशन इज गोइंग टू कम ओनली व्हेन अहंकारा टू आत्मा में जाएगा तो आएगा. अदरवाइज इट इज ओनली मोटा चपड़ी है कि पतला चपड़ी है कि क्या है. समझ में आ रहा है? सो दैट इज व्हाट नाउ ही सेज. तेषाम ज्ञानी who has understood that last differentiation, nitya yuktaha ekabhaktir visheshatah, he knows very clearly, highly focused. The others are focusing, they are trying their best. उसमें से थोड़ा बाहर घूम के आते हैं, वापस आते हैं. वो गाय जैसा चरने जाते हैं, रात को तो वापस आते हैं. तो ऐसा दिन भर सब गड़बड़ करेंगे, लेकिन सुबह एक आध बार मेरा सामने आके सब भगवान तुम्हारे लिए कुछ दे आता है. फिर बाद में धीरे धीरे याद आएगा, नहीं नहीं यार, I have to keep that in mind and do my work. ऐसा धीरे धीरे धीरे. Then someone will say, वही है बाबा, the means are no meaning, the end is the meaning. So I will drop the means and I will go to the end. Otherwise the end was considered to be the means. Okay, ये धीरे धीरे समझ में आएगा. But the person who knows that there is no means at all, there is only one end and that is me, and that is called Ishvara, then there is no differentiation. For that jnani nitya yuktaha ekabhaktir visheshyati, because I love only myself. Ishvara is no other than that, others are no other than that, world is no other than that. Correct? Because that is that param satya which Upanishad says. Nava are patyuh kamaya patyuh priyo bhavati atmanastu kamaya patyuh priyo bhavati. Like that 10 examples are given. 10 times with different examples told that Buddhu, you only love yourself. And what is you? Yourself is what you have to understand. If I know everything else other than myself, it is like knowing nothing. If you know what is yourself, you know everything else. समझ में आ रहा है? That is how that, see how he brings that jnana vijnana in completeness. He says without leaving anything what is that? Asheshataha, Samagram, I will tell you everything. Vakshyami Asheshataha. So he is bringing out all these aspects in these shlokas. Correct? So he says, Tesham Jnani Yukta, then Jnani Prashamsa has started already. Udara Sarva Evaite Jnani Tvam Eva Astitas Hi Yuktana Mameva Anuttamam Gatim. He will reach to the highest because he is very clearly and steadfast and knows very clearly what is his focus and he is not deviating. Now come, what will happen? Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. Here people can make an error. Which Bhagwane bolke, I can continue for millions of janma. One janma at least I will know. In each of the janma you have to put effort with your purushartha towards the goal. Then one day, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. Mam Prapadyante means what? Will reach me, will attain me. Now one are there or two are there? If one is there, then Charama Shatkam is not required. The whole of Madhyama Shatka is as though two are there, and to show it as two are there, and these two, now you have established that in Prathama Shatka, your Atma is Jivatma is the only thing which is there, Para. In the Madhyama Shatka, you will say Brahman, the Paramatma is the only there. If these two are already same, you know, then Bhagavad Gita, nothing is required. So, only in the 13th one, this joining Asiv is going to come. Till that, it will be shown that you will reach me, I will come. मैं उधर से भाग के आऊँगा, तुम इधर से भाग के आएगा, एक बार धड़ाम करके मिलेंगे, as though two are there. You all are jnanis. You already started from the solution going to the problem. आपको solution मालूम है? तो for you everything is Advaita. That means only Brahman is only there, Atma and Brahman are same. So all this doesn't have meaning. But every time when the shlokas are told, everyone, that means this is only the right meaning you have and that is only lip singing. Advaita is lip singing today. Don't let the lip singing be there. Fake it and make it. But reality is that Dvaita is in me engraved, very much engraved, and accepted that this Jivatma, that Paramatma, two are there, they both come close together, and that closeness comes very much only when you become Jnani. Till that the distance is far. Jo circle of influence and circle of concern. मालूम है ये? There are two circles. Circle of influence and circle of concern. It's a very good one. वो समझ में आएगा तो it is okay, simple. Just draw two circles, two concentric circles. Okay. अंदर वाला सर्कल को लिखो सर्कल ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस. बाहर वाला सर्कल, ये दोनों सर्कल का बीच में लिखो सर्कल ऑफ कंसर्न. वो बाहर का सर्कल का बियॉन्ड लिखो बियॉन्ड माई कंसर्न. समझा? फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यूएसए में इलॉन मस्क का 14th चाइल्ड किधर आएगा तुम्हारा? समझ में आए ना? मेरा बिल्डिंग का, मेरा आजू बाजू का बच्चे लोग किधर आएगा? मेरा बच्चा किधर आएगा? समझ में आ रहा है? सर्कल ऑफ इन्फ्लुएंस मेरा बच्चा, सर्कल ऑफ कंसर्न बाजू वाले का बच्चे लोग, बियॉन्ड माई सर्कल ऑफ एनी ऑफ दिस कंसर्न ऑल्सो इलॉन मस्क का बच्चे लोग. समझ में आ रहा है क्लियरली? लाइक दैट, वेरी क्लियरली, ईश्वर सृष्टि टुडे इज बियॉन्ड माई कंसर्न. फर्स्ट वी हैव टू increase that and bring it beyond my influence but within my concern. Expand that circle. Then beyond my influence, slowly you will start increasing that till it touches the other one. When these two touch and that outside that there is nothing, then you are a jnani. है कि नहीं? Clear है ना? Just to put you in the right perspective. अभी तक हम हमारा ही बात कर रहे हैं, हम सबका भी बात नहीं किए, तो ईश्वरा आउट ऑफ क्वेश्चन है. पहला हम सब का सोचो, then all jiva jantu, all that together, then comes Srishti and Ishvara. Is it clear? Okay, so he says these people who are at least in this circle of concern are artho jijnasu artharthi jnani. Beyond those are beyond that circle of concern also. मतलब भगवान का सृष्टि में भी उन लोग प्रोग्राम्ड एनिमल्स हैं. समझ में आ रहा है? They will just do as per the law, and if the law is going to perish them, they will perish. For them, animals are better because they follow the law. A non-vegetarian animal remains non-vegetarian at all the times and would want to die without having anything, but will not eat grass. Whereas this so-called vegetarian and non-vegetarian human being, based on the situation, will change and adapt. तो वो जो है उसको धर्म का भी मालूम नहीं, अधर्म का भी मालूम नहीं. He is just pulled by his vasanas. उसको is worse than an animal. उधर छोड़ दो. That person is beyond Bhagavan's scope of even concern. सृष्टि में है, like the grass is there, सब कुछ वैसा वो भी है. That's all. समझ में आ रहा है? भगवान भी माइक्रोस्कोप रख के छाट के देख रहे कौन है बाबा. एक तो रहना बनता है आर्तो जिज्ञासु अर्थार्थी ज्ञानी च भरत. So difficult for Bhagavan also to find out. Correct? We can find out because we know what we are. भगवान को find out करने को. But don't worry, it is based on his plan only you have come this way. He has made this prarabdha so that you will improve. So he has his eye always on you. Kataksha is always there. Okay, so whatever is there, even if we say that such people, those people, Bhagavan ka kataksha hai, one day they will also come slowly. Don't worry on that. Okay, but it is more for to see ourselves, right? Then he says, to get their own kama fulfilled, they will go and propitiate anyone and everyone who doesn't have any power. Why? They have reflected power from me, and I always bless them, by which they bless you, by which you are happy. क्यों? वो पहला तो मैं प्रयागराज नहीं जाऊँगा. प्रयागराज गया तो एक खादा बाबा को देखा, वो बाबा एक विभूति दे दिया और मेरा अच्छा हो गया, तो मैं एटलीस्ट वो तो पकड़ के रखूँ. मैं प्रयागराज ही नहीं गया तो फिर कौन सा बाबा और कौन सा विभूति. तो तुम एटलीस्ट किधर न किधर तुम्हारा खूटी को एक जगह पे रखने के लिए मैं आई इन द disguise of these anya devataha, I ensure that all your kama gets fulfilled, even though they may be a little adharmic. Some are majorly adharmic, you will be out, but you know where you are going wrong and you will convert it to dharmic. I ensure that all your dharmic kamas for artha kama are fulfilled through these devatas. But for you, you believe that devatas are giving. The devatas by themselves are jada vastu. I give them. If the Prime Minister is gone, the whole cabinet is gone. It is his power, is what all are enjoying and saying, I am giving you this. इधर का तुम्हारा ये वाला एमएलए एमपी जो भी बात कर रहा है उधर हिल गया तो इधर सबका गया. It's exactly like that. Okay. So he says for them to continue that shraddha, because with the shraddha only they will come to dharma, from dharma only they can come to moksha. I will ensure that shraddha is there by giving them results. Is it clear? Then he says, Now he comes from this 23rd to 27th. He is till all this now it is Sakama Ishvara he was talking of. Now, Saguna Ishvara. Now he is going to talk of Nirguna Ishvara or Nirguna Brahman. Okay, then he says, Avyaktam Vyaktimapannam Manyante Mam Abuddhaya. They personify me because they can't see me as a principle. They will always personify on a material and some Jadavastu, at least as a picture they need, otherwise they don't understand anything. They will just not understand anything. Okay, so he says, I cannot be bottled as what they feel. मतलब बॉटल में उतार देगा, ऐसा भगवान को बॉटल में उतारने वाले बहुत हैं, इंक्लूडिंग ऑल ऑफ अस. अस्मिन् कलशे आवाहयामि, हम लोग सब भगवान को बॉटल में उतारते हैं. That thought should be a very different thing. That it is so big, India is so big, but to have a pratinidhi, to objectify, I have a flag. So I have all the value to the flag as much I have a value for India. To every border of India, let it be Pakistan, Sri Lanka or the ocean or whichever, China, whichever border you take, I value it that much. Any Jawan dying there is paining me. Any of the person inside is paining me because that is my boundary. Like that, very clearly, this objectified thing is an embodiment of that whole should be. Okay, rather than saying मुझे जब बनता है मैं लाया भगवान को, जब बनता है मैं छोड़ दिया भगवान को. That would be correct. Okay, if that happens, then Ganpati will say every year you do my Visarjan, I will also ensure your Visarjan is pakka. The attitude during the Visarjan, the mindset during the Visarjan is very important. Why are you doing the Visarjan? That what is generated has to go, and is there Sarvavyapti, where am I to bottle you? And with that, when you do, next step, it is easy to do Prana Pratishtha again. Okay, so he says, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrata. I am that Prakasha which cannot be bottled. But unfortunately, you are sitting in the bottle and the cover of the bottle is not able to see the light outside. My Yoga Maya is Avrutam, is covered you now. So you can't see my Prakasha. You have to break it. Okay. So he says, Vedaham Samatitana Vartamanani Charjana. Please understand, I am that Bhuta, Bhavishya, everything it is me. That cause with time manifesting is what you call as effect. There is nothing other than that. So understanding that it is a time continuum which is changing, you call it Bhuta, you call it Bhavishya, and I am there at all time as present, continuous in everything. For me there is no past and future or anything. Present continuous is very clear. So he says, the only way is Ichha Dvesha Samuthena Dvandva Mohena Bharata. This if it is there, Ichha Dvesha, Dvandva will never go. Will never go. So you have to, now this Ichha and Dvesha comes because your circle of influence and circle of concern is a very small circle. It is infinitesimally small if you look at the cosmos. Mera, ऐसा कर करके you have reduced yourself. The more you expand yourself, your problem is solved. Then Dvandva does not come. There is nothing called circle of influence. There is nothing called circle of concern. Concern भी नहीं है, influence भी नहीं है, circle भी नहीं है, एक ही है. You understand? Okay. So he says, Tesham tu antagatam papam punya karmana, only by punya karmana this dvandva moha nirmuktaha. What is that punya karma? Jnana vijnana, a guru giving you this knowledge and then you doing Shravana Manana Nididhyasana and overcoming it completely, that you are now with new blood. Completely transfusion has happened. I am with that new blood, with that jnanam, that I am Nitya Mukta Shuddha Buddha, ever free, never can be bottled by anyone, including my mind. Correct? So he says, Jara Marana Mokshaya. If you don't want that pain of Jara, fear of death, if you want to come out of it, Mam Ashritya Yatantiye, those people who are completely submitted to me, what do they know? They understand. Those intelligent people, they know Brahman. They clearly know what is Adhyatma. They understand what is Akhilam Karma. Okay. And they understand Adibhutam, Adidaivam, Adiyajnam very clearly. And then Prayanakale api, they are with that Yukta Chetasam 100% connected to me when they are completely getting moksha out of this prarabdha karma also. They are completely freedom. Because with jnanam only this, all this they will know, Brahma, all this they will know. But that prarabdha is not. Prayana kale, they will completely keep all this. All these 7 things have been told. And everything given new name. And our Arjuna is confused, like all of us. So, if all this there, you will understand Brahman, you will understand Adideva, you will understand Adiyajna, you will understand Karma, you will have. Are? I didn't understand this. Now, if I understand the main Para and Apara Prakriti and I understand Ishvara, then I will understand 6 more things. Then should I understand Ishvara or should I understand this 8 more things? Samjha? So Ishvara is these 8 things. He didn't tell that. So we will continue the same way because Krishna did not tell, Vyasa did not tell. He brought in 8 new concepts and we will have to be with that 8 concepts because obviously the next question is from Arjuna is Kim tad brahma kim adhyatmam kim karma purushottama. That 8 things which he said, that person who knows me knows all these things. This is what are these 8 things now? And that's how the 8th chapter starts. With that what happens? The 7th chapter has to get over. So the summary gets over. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. With that Zoom power also got over. Chalo.